Welcome to our 91 Day Business Spotlight Live. My name's Jonathan, and today I've got with me Alan Edwards out of the UK, and we're going to chat a little bit about Alan's business and what he does. So, Alan, welcome. We're really thrilled to have you on this Business Spotlight. Tell me a
Hi,
little bit, share with our audience a little bit, and myself too, since we just met literally about 5 minutes ago. Tell us a little
sure.
bit about what you do and who you serve.
Sure. Yeah, my company is Alpus Group, based in the UK and also in Slovenia in the EU, and we carry out property investment and development. We help property owners to solve their problems, whatever they are, by transforming the value of property. We also help property investors get a great return on their investments.
Fantastic. Sounds incredibly interesting. Uh, Tell me if you would, and tell us if you would, just a little bit about what that looks like. If somebody's got an investment, you mentioned you help them out with things. What types of services do you provide, and how do you make their lives better on that perspective, Alan?
Yeah, sure. So for property investors, we have access to deals all over the UK, as well as in Europe and further beyond as well, but mainly in the UK, where there's a good market for property investors. There are really good returns, and it's an ideal time to invest in the UK because UK has a critical housing shortage, and so the values of properties are always going up. And one of the things that we do to help try and address this is to convert unused or used commercial property. To give you an example, we've got one development in Hampshire, which we're looking at the moment, which will, it's an empty office building, series of buildings, and it will convert into flats for sale or for rent. And then we've also got another development we're looking at in the Midlands at the moment. It's actually quite a international investors. It's a sale of holiday homes, 118 holiday homes in the Midlands. And this could be of great interest to people who want to visit the UK, say for up to 4 months of the year. And then also they get a fantastic return by renting out the property for the rest of the time when they're not using it. So these are eco homes on a rural site in Staffordshire. And so from Staffordshire, you can easily get to shopping centres, or you can get to Birmingham Airport is one immediately adjacent destination. You can get to the north of England, to the Lake District, which is a beautiful part of the UK. You can travel to Cornwall. It's quite near Shakespeare Country, quite near Stratton-on-Avon, or you can travel to Scotland from your holiday home in Staffordshire in the Midlands. So we're quite excited about that particular development, which we're just getting off the ground at the moment. So that's a great one as an illustration of how we help investors get great returns, because it's investments, an appreciating asset, and also it earns good revenue from a managed service of serviced accommodation. So effectively, while you're not using your holiday home, it can be let out to somebody else. It's completely at arm's length. You don't have to do anything, but you get the returns from your investment for every day and every week that the property is let out. And we anticipate quite a high level of occupancy on these, about 80% occupancy when they're being rented.
Wow, I love that as a service, and as someone who's invested in property before, I know the huge value of having somebody to help facilitate that, not having to be the one to worry about renting it out and deal with the renters, and having that as a service. I really think that's just an amazing service that you offer. Do you work just in the UK, Alan, or do you work? You mentioned Slovenia as well. Do you work in other parts of the EU?
Our company is also based in, because we're based in one EU country, i.e. Slovenia, we can operate throughout all of the 27 countries in the EU. So we're looking at projects in Ireland. We spoke yesterday with a company in Germany about collaboration there. So all over the EU, we have the potential to do business, to carry out investment projects, and we have actually done other projects outside the EU as well. But you know, that's another story. That's Macedonia, which is near Greece, and in the Middle East as well. So essentially, we're an international business, but for security of investments, we operate throughout the EU.
I love that. Tell us a little bit. How did you get into this type of this line of work, Alan?
I've always worked in construction and project management. I've worked on projects from the smallest to the largest, gradually through my career. I've carried out large infrastructure projects as well, and I've also carried out other types of development projects, particularly hotels, particularly in the Bahamas. I worked for 3 years in the Bahamas. I've worked in Botswana, in Africa. I've worked in the UAE, United Arab Emirates, 3 times on hotel and other major projects. And I've worked in Azerbaijan on a massive mixed-use development there, commercial, residential, and a massive hotel developments. So this was a very unusual one because we actually reclaimed a lot of land back from the sea. We put in a cofferdam around a particular area of the site, and we reclaimed sufficient land to build a massive hotel in the port of Azerbaijan.
Well, it sounds like an amazing project and super interesting. I love how you've done that. If people are interested in learning more about your company, Alan, and who you are and maybe how to connect with you, if they're interested in such investments or things like that, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Yeah, we've got a website, which is alpusgroup.com, alpusgroup.com. My email address is alanjedwards2@gmail.com, and my company email address is alan@alpusgroup.com. I'm on LinkedIn, which is linkedin.com/in/alanjedwards, or I'm on Linktree, linktr.ee/alanje. So there are lots of ways to contact me. You can also schedule a call with me at calendly.com/alanje. And yeah, I look forward to speaking with anyone who's interested in property in the UK or Europe, or indeed we've got other projects which are in prospect further afield in Africa, for example.
Well, I love that, and I appreciate all the ways to get in touch with you. What I'm going to do when we're done with this live stream, as we mentioned, we'll definitely get some replay watchers, and what we want to do there is make sure we tag you so that you can reach out. Jeff and I, or I'm sorry, Alan and I met through a mutual friend of ours, Jeff, out of the Philippines, actually, and just want to encourage you if you're watching this and you're wondering, man, how does this work? How does a guy that's sitting in Alabama in the United States connect with a great guy in the UK? It's all about adding value, and that's what we're trying to do here on the 91 Day Business Spotlight Live. And I want to encourage you, if you've got a business anywhere in the world, we would love to help you promote that by giving you 10 to 15 minutes live, just like Alan and I have done here this morning. And Alan, let me ask you, I know some people are like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this. Was this a hard process, or was it, other than waiting for me because I was late, was this pretty easy?
Not at all. It was pretty easy, Jonathan. I'm really pleased to have connected with you, despite whatever technological challenges there could have been, which there weren't. And also the difference, it's been very easy. Perfect for communication.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, Alan. So if you have a business and you'd like to be part of this Business Spotlight Live, we're doing this for 91 days. We're about 5 weeks in right now, so we're about halfway through, and we'd love to have the opportunity to work with you and help you as well. So just make a comment down below, and we'll get you a scheduling link, and we can interview you as well. Alan, again, thank you so much for your time today. Any parting words of wisdom you'd like to leave everyone with?
No, I really enjoyed the interview, Jonathan. I think it's a great idea, and I look forward to speaking with you and Jeff again in the future. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. And thank you for joining us either live. We've got a few people live as well as on the replay. We really value your views and we appreciate your attention. With that,